We can bring her back.
Bring Her Back is a 2025 Australian horror movie, co-written and directed by Danny and Michael Philippou. It stars Sally Hawkins, Misha Hayward, and Jonah Rynn Phillips. A brother and sister uncover a terrifying ritual at the secluded home of their new foster mother.
Oliver lost his family just like you guys. Needed someone that could give him special care.
So I got a chance a couple days ago to see an advanced screening of this. And I sat on it for a few days, just kind of processing and thinking about what I watched and what I wanted to say about it. But it's very layered and intricately written and performed movie, so you just can't help it. After you see this, you just keep chewing on it and it keeps running around in your brain. And I love movies like that. Like, I am a huge fan of psychological horror, of movies that really live with you and stick with you and just get under your skin. And that's really the first thing I want to say about this movie, is it really feels like it sticks with you, it lives with you, it kind of just becomes a part of you. And there's good and bad of that, because it's good because it really does what it's trying to do as far as a piece of art. It really moves you, it makes you feel things, you know? But it's also a bad thing in a way, because then you're left with this fog, with this dark feeling that this movie has. So if you're not familiar, this is made by the Philippou brothers, the same guys that did Talk to Me a couple years ago. And this is their second feature-length movie. And I am just so incredibly impressed with these guys, because to me, this is a better made movie. As much as I love Talk to Me, this is just better shot, better directed, just better put together. The story of it, the way it's written, it feels really tight. It feels like there's more experience involved in writing in this movie. Whereas, as much as I love Talk to Me had a few little plot holes, just a few little things here and there with that script that wasn't, you know, quite as tight. Whereas this you can tell these guys have much more of an idea of what they're doing now. But the tone of these movies is very different, because Talk to Me has more of that party kind of feel. It's got this youth feel, this young generation doing stupid stuff. You know, there's an element of fun, an element of partying vibes that it has because of that. And even though it gets dark and super twisted, and creepy, and all these things, because it kind of starts in that place and the overall ideas and everything have more to do with that, it just has a lighter tone to it. Whereas this is much more of a drama. This is much more of a movie that is gonna make you feel a lot of stuff. Like, yes, it's still very horror, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this movie is not a horror movie. It is very horror. It just deals with things like grief, the loss of people, and especially being the age that I'm at, it really affected me, because I've definitely lost a lot of loved ones, and just recently had a couple friends die just a couple days apart. But there's just so many things that it causes you to kind of think about, because it deals with grief, it deals with loss. And so the basic setup of this movie is you have these two young teenagers who just lost their parents, and they go and live with this woman who has recently lost one of her children. So you're now in this situation where she's grieving, they're grieving, and it's just really emotional and heavy in that way. But then the way the horror is infused in this, it gets so disturbing. This movie really goes for it at times. I mean, there is some stuff, that imagery, things that will absolutely stick with me for a long time. It's also very creepy and atmospheric and moody. There are a lot of scenes in this that it's raining, just like torrential downpour kind of raining. And so the whole way everything feels, it feels wet, it feels gloomy, it just builds to this atmospheric crescendo so well. The other thing that stuck with me too is just certain characters, how strange they are, how foreign they feel, just their mannerisms, the way they talk. There's just a very dark, uncomfortable vibe right away in this movie, and it never goes away. Just the entire movie feels that way. It has that element of waiting for the other foot to drop. Like, you just know that there is bad things that are gonna happen, and you don't know how or what exactly, but just you know that it's coming. And I don't know if this is just a me thing, because I'm sure that this movie is going to be very divisive. I really anticipate a lot of people not enjoying this and not being as big of fans of this movie as they were talking to me. For one, it's much more of a slow burn psychological movie. Like I said, it doesn't have that partying kind of vibe, so it isn't a jump scare movie. This one is much more of a dread-filled slow burn. And so I can definitely see this being a divisive movie, right? But I don't know if it's just me, but this movie was much scarier to me. I'm not saying scary in a jump scare way, you know, like I said, but instead more scary in a way that just digs deep and gets under your skin and disturbs your spirit. But the way this movie looks, I mean, it just looks incredible. The colors, the choices of setting, everything about it. Like I said, it's wet for most of the movie. It just, man, the B-roll, all the different creative choices and everything that was done here. This movie is truly a special, well done movie. So I can see for people that are fans of film and the art of it and the artistry and all of those things, I can see this movie really hitting you and you enjoying it very much on those levels. Another thing that I think is really special about this movie is the dialogue, the characters, the way they're built, the richness in their personalities. You really feel by the end of this movie like you know each one of these people, and so it makes it hit you that much harder when the different things happen here. Another thing though that I can see being kind of divisive is this movie doesn't hold your hand. You're going to be left with having to kind of decide and figure out what you think certain things mean or what exactly happened or things like that, because there's an element of mystery to this. It's definitely not spelling things out. It treats you like an adult. Another thing that is really sticking with me about this movie is the performances. This cast is so damn good. I mean, every one of them just gives this incredible performance, leaning in completely into these characters, and a lot of them are pretty young, and so it makes it even more impressive, the performances that they give. But the one that blew me away the most is Jonah Rin Phillips, and I'm not going to get into anything too much because it will be a spoiler if I go deeper into who this character is and the things that happens with him and all that. But let me just put it this way. I cannot believe the things that he did in this movie, how much he leaned in, jumped in with both feet. I mean, just truly special performance. But this movie gets violent, it gets gory, and I'm not saying it's a gore fest by any means, but when there needs to be some gore and violence and all that, it doesn't shy away from it at all, and it shows you every gruesome detail. Like they did with Talk to Me, there's some creative choices when it comes to the brutality in this. Stuff that, at least for me, really caught me off guard and surprised me, especially some of the things they did and to the degree that they went for with those things. Another element that really shines in this is the score, the sound design, because there's a lot of this movie where those sounds that you hear make it hit so much harder, be it a crunching sound or a splashing sound or whatever. And then on top of that, the music that's there, a lot of it is ambient and it isn't something that you're gonna really think about in the moment, but it really makes it feel even more moody and atmospheric. But I just think this movie is incredible. And I know there's definitely going to be people that go into this and are disappointed because it's not what they were hoping for or whatever. But I think there's a lot of you out there that are going to love it as much as me. Like I said, it's almost more of an experience kind of movie than it is a piece of entertainment. Like, you're not going to have fun per se with this movie. This is one that's more jarring and moving and emotional, and is going to make you feel like you went through this event more than that you were entertained by something. Either way, I am just so impressed with the Philippou brothers. For them to have two movies and both of them to be as good as these are, as well done and executed, layered storytelling, directing style, the atmosphere, they already have a unique look and feel about their movies. Like, in my opinion, they already have a style. They already have a thumbprint on the way their movies feel. Because even though Talk to Me and this one are both very different movies, especially in their tone, you could still feel the filmmakers, the artist's paintbrush, so to speak, behind them. So I just can't wait for you guys to check this out. It comes out next week, so on May 29th, 29th, something like that. So definitely get out there and support this movie. We need indie, artsy kind of films like this one getting supported in the theaters so that A24 will continue to be able to make these kind of movies.
Some people believe the spirit stays in the body for months after death.
But I would love to hear down in the comments after you guys have seen it, what you thought of it. Please don't put any spoilers. Just give me, your opinions or thoughts without spoiling the movie. And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. And I'll see you guys next time.